Hello everyone, how's it going? MJ here. We're in the studio. Haven't been in the studio in a while. I'm actually not doing, a from the studio with the studio fully turned around looking at the workstation. Oh, just kicked my tripod. Like, who cares? How's everybody doing? All right, so if you're new, I live in Taiwan. I'm an engineer in 3 fields, and I'm really fortunate in my life. I've played around with radio stations and factories, and the most fun was recording studios. I have a studio here in my house, and yeah, we've got the let's see if I can, which way can I go? Yeah, anyway, the X32 digital console, and over here is the analog console. So anyway, tonight, as promised, I'm going to do a whiskey review, and this is the Deanston. There's no age statement on it, but it's the Deanston Heritage. And one of the things that jumped out at me, I've seen several expressions, is the sherry cask. Of course, whenever I go live, my lips start getting dry. And I got my water here. So we are simulcasting on YouTube and Twitch, but not on Periscope, because the Periscope API is dead, and this whole thing, the way, hey Sylvie, how you doing? Fist bump to you. Welcome from Jakarta, thank you. The whole way that, I'm just so disappointed with Twitter. I'm ready to just, I don't know. I should have deleted my Twitter accounts a long time ago. They don't really do anything for me. And if you spend any time on Twitter, it's nothing but a bunch of arguments, mostly political. It's disgusting. But I used to have a lot of followers on Periscope, and of course they killed the Periscope app, and they didn't bother to sell it to anybody. They just kind of half-baked it into Twitter Live, and apparently the API that they did release doesn't even capture comments if you want to do a third-party app like Prism, which I do because I don't like to compromise. In my opinion, there's no way that I would ever want to excuse me. Oh, I had a sneeze. This is a live TV. I just don't want to use the Twitter app for live streaming. I like to simulcast, and whatever I do, I want to end up on YouTube ultimately. So, but I'm in the studio, and just because I'm in the studio doesn't mean I have my usual goodies. This is my favorite wasabi peanuts, man, and these are like, whew. You guys saw Dave in Osaka's recent live stream where he was in Japan in an area where they were specializing in wasabi. Wasabi is one of the amazing things. And speaking of which, boom, fist bump to you. Hi, Dave. How are you? And please follow Dave in Osaka. If you guys don't know who he is, where have you been? If you don't know who Dave is, where have you been? So I'm going to pop these open. I'm going to make my lips in my mouth even more dry with the salt and stuff, but I don't care. My wife and I went out to teppanyaki tonight. It really, really is. It is a staple. Just with Manila rum and some other things, Yeah. So, anyway, they are actually green. So this is cool. If I was using chroma key and a green screen, this would disappear. As we say in Chinese, Chong beats it. People know what horseradish is generally. Wasabi is way better, in my opinion, than horseradish. But the effect in the nose is largely the same. All right, so welcome everyone. In just a minute, I'm going to get to my whiskey review. You guys know that I really like whiskey, and I haven't reviewed a new to me whiskey in a long time, and I've been really busy in the studio. I haven't actually been exploring many new whiskeys. I have so many tunes that I'm working on. Of course, my own material for a new album. That's coming along really, really well, and I'm very happy with the results. But I'm also doing, side jobs for other artists, and doing a lot of mastering and repair work where I'll get like a 30-year-old tape master and the azimuth is off and the channels, and I fix all these things and I master them. Some of those were actually mastered way back then, but I remaster them, but without having access to the unmastered version. Kind of a challenge, but it's good. It really pushes your knowledge, your experience, pushes it right to the edge. All right, now sherry cask finish. When I see these three words, it really grabs my attention. Many viewers of late night on Taiwan Live TV know that my favorite Highland Scotch distillery is Glendronach, because they use Oloroso sherry casks in the maturation process. And so whenever I see a sherry cask finish whiskey, especially a Highland whiskey, which is pretty typical, it grabs my attention. Now this whiskey was 799 NT, which puts it at about, let's see, about 26 bucks US. Now, the thing is, right, is people don't realize how much of a whiskey haven, or whiskey heaven, if you want to put it that way, like a cycling heaven they call it for bicycles, that really is whiskey. Hey, Ken Rod, fist bump to you. It's a whiskey lover's dream living in Taiwan. Because one time I was talking about the Glendronach 12, which is a wonderful expression. In Taiwan, it's $30. You guys remember Rob Ebner, you know, it's a longtime follower. He said on a live stream that he bought a bottle of it based on my recommendation. It cost $75 where he lived in the United States, but he said it was worth every penny. So I've seen whiskeys in Taiwan that I only read about and only heard about, but never saw before, and even some of them, like the Balvenie peat versions that are, you know, hundreds of dollars in the United States, are really reasonable. I saw that very same whiskey a couple of days ago, and it was about would have been about 60 bucks here in Taiwan. It's just it's nuts. So I've already opened this. This isn't an unboxing. I've already opened it and sampled it, of course, you know, and try to get familiar with a whiskey before I try it. Although when I reviewed the Jura, I actually did not. Oh, my screen went dead. Huh? Well, that's interesting. When I reviewed the Jura, I did it straight out of the box. But this is it. This is Deanston. There's no age statement on it, so we know it's at least 3 years old. But I want you to look at the color. I mean, look how dark this is. This color is just, it's phenomenal. And that is the sherry finish. Now, I looked all over it. I looked at, you know, looked at the Chinese, and sometimes they hide the fact that they color with caramel by writing it in German. It's not on here. There's nothing on here. This is the natural color. So we're going to go ahead and uncork this. And I'm going to pour this into a whiskey glass. And this is my studio. I don't have a whole lot of like desk space up here, and I usually don't like drink a lot of stuff up here because, as you can imagine, you know, there's 32 plus 9 and there's 26. All these faders I've got another 20 faders over here on another device. All you got to do is spill something, and boy, you can be in trouble in a studio in a heartbeat. But there it is. There's the color. Look at this color. This is just, I mean, that's the natural color that came out of the bottle because it was matured in a sherry cask. So of course that, gives you the color from the wine, right? So right off, let me just read. Well, I'm gonna let this sit for a second. Let me just read what this says. And of course, this is always a lot more grandiose than what it is. Color, deep amber gold. Check. Nose, honey, toffee, dried fruit, and chocolate with a hint of citrus. And this says palate, rich honey and creamy vanilla, then dried and candied fruit, citrus, and subtle spice. And this is long, lingering, dried fruit, and honey is the finish. Okay, now, my assessment is going to be a little bit different, but let's just try nosing this first. We're going to spread this around a little bit so it kind of wets the glass. All right, right off I'm going to tell you, this is only 40% alcohol, but the alcohol presence is very much like a cask level, like 46 to maybe 48 or even 50. So what I found was when I was nosing this, I had to back off a little bit. Now I can smell oak in here. This is not an oak bomb, and you guys know that I'm really not an oak guy. I mean, just straight oak. Some of the ones like Glen Farkas and some others that are just strictly oak matured Highland whiskeys, they don't do it for me. But this one, there's oak in there, but there's something else. And I'm sorry about the exposure changing when I do this, but now I definitely get citrus from this, and yeah, something like raisins. That dried fruit definitely is in there. And look at that. That color is just really something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little bit of water. Okay, no more wasabi. Yes, I definitely get this this dried fruit. And when I first opened the bottle and poured the first dram, I was getting definitely some honey. And it's in there. So the nose is rather sweet, but there is, in my opinion, a strong oak aroma that's not listed on the box. So now let's take a taste of this. Sweet. Oh, vanilla. Definitely some dried fruits, but the oak is way down. But I can taste that the cask is not a straight oak. Oh yeah, there's definitely like a wine. That sherry's in there, Definitely. And the second hit this is absolutely delicious, like a candy. The first hit, even though it's 40% alcohol, was pretty spicy from the alcohol. But I'm not getting like a black pepper like I do with some of these oak bombs. There's none of that. I mean, this would be great if there was no alcohol in it. It would be a fantastic, just soft drink. But there's no sugar, so it's non-glycemic. So if you're a diabetic, you can enjoy your whiskey. But now we got, I'm not going to say toffee, but maybe a little butterscotch, maybe. There's no cinnamon like that. It's more of a citrus, and I do get that honey that they were talking about on the box. I definitely get that, because once it hit the palate and I swished it around a little bit, it suddenly got really sweet. And that's such a nice experience from a whiskey. that is a really, really nice dram of whiskey. I think I poured too much. I'm going to put it down. That was nice. I can recommend this. I will definitely get this again. Even though there's no age statement on it, it's a young whiskey. It's been matured enough. I have had a number of these non-age statement whiskeys that I wish I could put back in the cask for a couple more years, but this is actually not bad. The Deanston, it's Highland single malt, and it's heritage with sherry cask finish. And of course, you know, they're oak casks. And like I said, there is some oak, but it's not an oak bomb, which I'm going to say again, I don't like. So what I'm going to do is just enjoy some of my wasabi peanuts. I know you guys are listening, so you're not talking. But go ahead. Because the title of this stream is What's Up? So what's up with you guys? I'd like to know. And while you're formulating your questions or comments, what I got set up in Reaper is Boston's More Than a Feeling. You know, the original tracks. And I did a mix and put it on YouTube back in March, but this song continues to give up its secrets. I think by far, this is what, no, I appreciate that. Don't have to worry about that. This song by far, I think, is the greatest rock song that's ever been produced. You know, and I have Bohemian Rhapsody and Killer Queen and all the other stuff too, and I've been listening to all of it. But there's one section where some of the harmony guitars at the end of the lead solo, if you guys know that song, it goes, you know, da 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 at the end, right, of the solo. And there were 3 guitar tracks that were buried on the background vocal tracks that I didn't actually notice when I did the first mix. Subsequently, playing around with it and listening to it, I discovered those parts on the other tracks, because usually on vocal tracks, you know, well, in those days, in 24 tracks, it was common to, you know, to bury things in between sections. And when you had automation, it would take a long time, but you could set it up to where the console would change all the parameters, you know, for that one little section, then go back. Like a friend of mine was working on a Madonna record, and he was telling me the same thing. That her record was just, every track had multiple instruments all over it, and it would be a, you know, it'd be a guitar for, you know, a couple seconds, and it would be a tambourine or some couple seconds. It was driving the engineers nuts, but they ran out of places to put these things. Of course, we don't have that problem nowadays with you know, with DAWs and digital audio workstation. But this is 21 tracks from the original. And those acoustic guitars, our submix is probably, I'm guessing he probably did 8 or more acoustic guitar tracks and bounced them down to 2. Did a lot of punching in and editing, so really clean. Tom Schultz is a very good engineer. I met him a couple times, and he's got an incredible mind. So anyway, I did another mix of this. And then the mastering is just so crucial. The mix I did on YouTube, I probably should do a subsequent mix and just upload it and just leave it so people can compare. It's on my studio channel, not on Live TV. Now, if you want to join us on livestreaming.technology, it's a platform that we have for discussing, of course, live streaming and content creator stuff. Oh, I can't wait till I get my new glasses. But I want to mention this one. And I think I should move it up. The pandemic community. Now, we're not getting a lot of traction there on this, on this site. I don't know if it's fear or what it is, but people have a lot that they want to say. Especially that now there are all kinds of revelations coming out now about various treatments, and, some have been suppressed. We've been lied to about some things. And so this is a non-censorship platform. And if you've got anything you want to tell, and you don't have to use your real name, you can call yourself whatever you want. There's not many users. One guy calls himself COVID-19 survivor, and man, he wrote a story about his 6-month battle. And boy, it's harrowing. And so we'd really like to hear positive, too, experiences, but anything, no matter what it is. The only thing you can't do on this site is bully people or promote treatments or things like that as advice. You can tell people what you would do, but you can't tell other people what to do. You know what I mean, like that. So, but yeah, so it's not a pro-vaccine. It's not an anti-vaccine. It's not this site has no position on anything. It's just an open platform. And the same with live streaming technology. It's just an open platform for discussion. You guys notice this? Move this mic. See that speaker back there, man? You know what that is? Got another one over there. That's a mid-70s acoustic research stereo speaker from the old days. And I gotta tell you, it's really amazing how some of these old technology analog speakers sound so good. Like these guys, these are the Atom Audio T8Vs, and they're made in Germany. They're brand new Class D amps, and 90 watts, really super clean. They go down to 33 hertz, and they go up to 25 kilohertz, and they're just unbelievable. But then you play a mix that you did mixed on these. You play them on those things, and it's really bizarre how the mid-range and upper mid-range interpretation is so different. Because this is these use like they call that a UART. It's a type of ribbon tweeter, and those guys, the ARs, use a compression dome tweeter. In fact, I don't know if you can really see it. It's actually shiny. It's metallized. So, pretty interesting. And these Atom Audios, the drivers are absolutely superb. But the voice coil, compared to the voice coil size of the ARs, it's really amazing. The AR voice coils are huge by comparison. Of course, they don't have amplifiers in them either. They're not amplified, you have to have an external amp. But yeah. So other than that, just chewing on some wasabi peanuts. I'm going to go back to the whiskey in a minute. But other than that, I just wanted to come on and say hi. I apologize for not being as regular with live streaming as I have in the past. I've genuinely been very busy with our business. We have a couple of businesses. I've been doing a lot of engineering, manufacturing engineering in the factory. I had to do some tooling studies and so forth. We're getting ready to make some new tooling. I have been working on some designs too for some new equipment for studios, actually furniture, and that's really an exciting project. And so there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that you don't know about and I don't bother you with. But I've also been spending time recording. And I'm really, thanks Dave, I'm really excited about some of the new tunes that I got coming along. Well, I didn't actually give you a studio tour. The thing is true. The analog console, you see a little bit of it over here. I'm using it more as a desk. It's got like stuff stuck on it, because it's really hardy and robust. I have like a couple of pieces of small pieces of equipment sitting on it. You see, I made so many upgrades. I've upgraded my computer system, the Dante audio network, the monitors, the monitor controller, and so many other things that I've had to do some temporary wiring just to see how how to actually do the interconnects. I've done 3 or 4 different interconnects with the monitors and the console so I could balance the stereo field correctly, and it's so much easier with a laptop and an interface, but I'm not that kind of an engineer. You will soon, I promise. Thank you. So the temporary setup has to be translated into a permanent setup. But what I found over the years working in different studios, is that whatever starts out as temporary tends to end up being permanent, because you don't want to stop to undo it. Anyway, so I'm working on new furniture, and when I get the new furniture designs, I'm going to have a prototype made. I'm going to install it here, install the console into it, screw it in, everything. So it's going to be designed to interface directly with the console surface. And so anyway, just busy. And I got my usual, theocratic studies and activities and my family stuff going on, with my daughter and her school, and so I got tons of stuff I got to do. But anyway, I'm never going to completely give up on you guys, so don't worry about that. But let me go ahead and get going. I want to try to get some stuff done. It's kind of late here. It's 10:38 in the evening local time. And so for me, that's still early. But I want to try to get some stuff done before 1 a.m. So with that, I'm going to say Zaijian. And you know what I want to do? Because you know me. I mean, I love mixing flavors. I'm liable to drop one of these in here to see what it does. I want to try this. That's what I thought. It's unbelievable. Mike, how are you? Fist bump to you. Long time no see. Thanks for dropping in, bro. I appreciate it, man. We're having a wee bit of Highland whiskey here, and some of this these wasabi peanuts. It's just like when I got the idea to cover a chicken with peanut butter, smear it all over it, and bake it. I mean, of course it was good. So I love wasabi peanuts. And I love sherry cask finished whiskey. Oh, I know you guys already think I'm nuts. But that would probably make it. I can take care, Fist Bump. I'm going to take this opportunity to say good evening too. Thank you. I know just joined Mike. Sorry, but please see the if you're interested, see the replay for my whiskey review of the Deanston Heritage Sherry Cask Finish. All right. Excellent, Mike. Well, hope you can visit Taiwan soon. I take care of you guys, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.